Hi, students. We're in week 6, and we're going to look at our syllabus. So let me share that for a minute. Remember, last week we talked about memory and the memory chapter, and then you had a quiz and discussion. This week we have an interesting project. Okay, it's a written assignment, and it's going to be between 1 and 2 pages in a Word document. But you can go for a longer kind of a paper if you want to. And this project is on memory in adulthood. Okay. I'm going to give you all the materials that you need to do this assignment that's due at the end of this week. Okay. All right. Let me pull up the guidelines for this project. Okay. And let's look at this closely. All right. It's a written assignment based on memory in adulthood. All right, we have an overall question that we need to look at. What are the similarities and differences between older adults' recall of autobiographical events during their lives and younger adults' recall of their earliest autobiographical events? Okay, this is interesting, and it's all about autobiographical memory, which fits in the episodic memory system, right? These are personally experienced events that people recall in this kind of relatively permanent system called long-term memory. Okay. Now, in modules, have provided you with 5 randomly selected transcripts from a couple of my past studies. Okay. One study was with older adults, and one study was with younger adults. Okay. And they all participated in interviews with a researcher. Okay. Now, some of the older adults were suffering from some brain problems, cognitive decline, where maybe they can't remember words as well as they used to, or they can't remember names or faces as well as they used to. So they had some cognitive decline. Okay. These were folks in the Raleigh Durham area of North Carolina. And some of them even suffered a little bit from dementia, just mild dementia, okay, at that time. Now, in another study, the second study with younger adults, we had healthy college students in a study. Okay. Now, let me describe these 2 studies and how their methods differed just a little bit. Okay. Number one, the study with older adults had them recall autobiographical memories after they listened to a popular song that they liked from when they were young. Okay. And so, we all have our songs that we like. And so they asked us to play this particular song because it was one that was important to them and they liked it. Okay. Now, just listening to music sometimes enhances autobiographical memory because, even older adults get cues from their past life to talk about. And then they talk, really well about some memory, either when they were young or, just like last week. Okay, that cues some memories that they have. So this was cued by memory, by music. I'm sorry. Now, in the second study, we had younger adults. Okay, these were college students, and they were cued with a recall of events, and these were events from the very early period of their lives. Okay, what were their earliest childhood memories concerning their first birthday? Did they remember their first birthday? What did they do? Okay, these were interviews that kind of cued them to think about autobiographical events, from their first birthday. Others We're asked about, what is your earliest memory regarding some hospital visit that you made? Okay, either you were in the hospital or someone in your family was in the hospital. Okay, what's your earliest memory of an event like that? Another, can you remember the birth of a sibling? Can you describe it in some detail? Okay, they were asked that question. Another cue, you know, your first day of kindergarten. What did you do? Right? What do you remember from your first day of kindergarten? Um, and then the last condition was, you know, who was the first person that you were attached to in your life? And can you describe them in some detail and how you felt about them? Okay. So these are all kind of cues that lead you to, some of your earliest childhood memories. They were told to describe those in some detail. Okay. So that was the second step. Now, the next thing, you're going to look at a journal article. Okay. Pages 262 to 263. It's only 2 pages that you need to read closely. It's an article, it's a very seminal article by Conway and Playdell Pierce from 2000. Okay. And they write extensively about autobiographical memory. They're talking about, usually when we move and we're cued about some autobiographical memory, we start to talk about a lifetime period. Okay. When I graduated from high school, blah, 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 right? Or when I first learned to drive a car, this happened. Okay. So those are all kind of lifetime periods that we specify. Then we have general event knowledge. We start to move into the content of the memory in a general way. And then we start to recall specific events in this general knowledge base that we have, okay? If our memories are specific. Okay, here's the link to the paper. You'll want to first open up a Word document, and then you're going to summarize what Conway and Playdell Pierce 2000 wrote about this memory specificity. What is lifetime period information? Summarize that. What is general event knowledge? Summarize that. And then what is event specific knowledge? And put all those in the initial part of your Word document. Okay. All right, second thing in your paper. What you want to do is read each of these transcripts. There are 5 older adults and 5 younger adults transcripts that were kind of randomly selected, and I placed them on modules. Okay, you read each transcript of these memories, and then you're going to write details in your writing whether each memory has these 3 levels of specificity. Okay, in kind of general terms, and then just give examples. Okay, this transcript 1 showed lifetime period information by referring to, learning to play the clarinet when they were in high school, okay, or something like that. So you want to give several examples from all of the transcripts in this section, okay? All right, third, in your writing, it says, attempt to find similarities and differences between younger and older adults in these transcripts. Okay, what are some of the similarities and what's different? Okay, why would the methods that I used in these studies make these transcripts of memories different or similar? Okay, so what are the methodological differences? Because there are some, right? Okay. Another question to answer is why would the content differ in terms of the methods used? Okay. If you're a younger adult or a middle-aged adult or an older adult, what is your earliest childhood memory? right? You might want to write that down and then look at it, right? Does it have lifetime periods and event general knowledge and event specific knowledge in it? Okay. What's the very first thing you can remember in your life? Okay, that might be a difficult question to answer, but try to answer it. Okay, write down your memory. The very first thing that you can remember. All right, so like I said, analyze it using Conway and Playdell Pearson's three levels. Okay, write all of this in your paper. And then you want to write a conclusion. Tie everything that you've written together so that the reader knows what you're talking about. Okay, so provide a nice conclusion to the paper. All right, students always ask, how long should this paper be? Well, you want to have between 1 and 2 pages, but you can write more. Okay, I don't mind that. Just don't write less. Okay. All right, that's your project for the week. If you have any questions, either email or call me because I'm available to you. Okay. All right, have fun with this project. See you next week. Okay.